ton if you're watching. 45 seconds left on the clock before we get into the draft here. I want to see how teams are going to actually react to what is legal and what is not legal. Remember, Hellcurt still banned. Nobody can really use it. Novaria is legal, and Diggy as well is legal. And we've seen teams either take an entire ban up just for Novaria, like Red Esports yesterday, both on blue side and red side, which I think is a little bit of a mistake. But then again, they're the pro players. I'm just some dude.
You know, this is a theory that I actually want to try it out as well. This is something that's been going on in my head for quite a while, and that's going to be Novaria's outright. Would it actually give you information during Darkness Falls during Hellcurt?
Probably not.
These are things that hasn't been experimented yet, but you know, with Hellcurt being taken out of the pool, feels like Novaria is gonna have a free pass in terms of information gathering. So in terms of information, I want to see how teams are gonna be adapting here. Novaria, are they gonna risk it for the biscuit, especially now when they are risked being eliminated from the tournament altogether? Do you want to stick to your comfort zones, or do you want to take a gamble and try and pick out Novaria and maybe, you know, hopefully pray to win you a game?
I think that, you know, sticking to your guns here, omitting Novaria is generally going to be the right play, because the way that I see Novaria right now is that she's very skill shot reliant. You could literally land the first and her ult every single time, but if you can't hit her second ability, you're not part of the game. You're just like a dead weight half the time.
So I'm guessing you're going for the Clock and Destiny Lightning Trunking build over the Enchanted Talisman and Ice Queen Wands?
Surprisingly enough, I'm more of the Enchanted Talisman Glowing Wands kind of guy. Sorry, Ice Queen Wand kind of guy.
Okay.
Yeah, personally for me, I like casting her second ability a lot because I just really suck at hitting people.
Like personally, I like the Enchanted Ice Queen Wand because of the fact that it gives you a little bit more power spike in the early game. You know, you can actually contribute more in team fights better. But if you're going for the Enchanted Talisman, the Clock of Destiny build,
it's satisfying.
You can kill people, but you are going to be sort of like a late game carry where you are going to be playing a Beatrix role into the later stage game, and your marksman is going to be forced to play a different position. So I feel like it's difficult. That's why it's annoying when it comes to Novaria. There's just so many variations you can play with, but what suits the team's playstyle is going to be put in question right now.
Yeah, I think that's always going to be the call, right? I do think Novaria is in a particular position where she's not like exactly the most broken hero in the world, because again, it's not like Arlet where you don't have to quote-unquote really position your skills. You kind of just have to have fast fingers. Novaria requires you to really
you just gotta be
accurate.
fearless, man. You guys gotta ooga booga and go in, man.
I mean, you can't do that with Novaria. She barely has an escape mechanic, right? Her astral recall takes a while. Her little orb thing takes a while to get back to her before you can start phasing through walls.
What's really disgusting about Novaria is that we haven't seen a lot of double mage combination for a long time, right? Like roaming mages, etc. I think the first week of playing like Novaria's release, I've seen like Selena with Novaria being picked almost every single class. I'm like, dude, the vision game is annoying, but who's gonna be opening up the map?
Technically Novarian as well as Selena, because they're the only ones
they
who do
give
that.
you vision, but they can't just, you know, you're gonna be giving away so much pressure away.
I mean,
you know?
pressure, you just, you know, shoot the astral recall into the bush, you know? That should deter them. That usually deters them.
It kind of hurts. It kind of hurts.
You've got range, you have to abuse it. Just start throwing abyssal arrows into random bushes just to clear it. You know, it saves a lot of time.
True. You know, if an arrow hits, you know, pretty much that guarantees a Novaria second skill as well.
Instant follow-up.
It's just so much damage for in terms of a combo. So that pretty much guarantees a kill if you hit those arrows. So I guess that could be a pick-off strategy that teams may be looking to take advantage of. You are going to give away a lot of mid pressure, but getting kill pressure is definitely a strategy as well.
I actually disagree. I think that Novaria actually has a pretty decent wave clear, right? I mean, maybe towards the mid game when, maybe towards the mid game where it's a little bit harder to attain gold and getting your third item, and the minions scale accordingly. Then you have to commit a couple of auto attacks. But even before that, you have a pretty decent clear speed.
Yep. Now, speaking of these two teams here, when it comes to Indonesia, they are going to be. I'm guessing they are going to still going to be prioritizing a little bit more in the tank slot play style. We've been to see a lot of tank slots still. What really surprises me was that the recent patch didn't really hit Fredrin too hard, which is kind of surprising for me.
I mean,
like
they're hoping that Molten Essence did it.
I don't think Molten Essence is a big problem. Like I feel like as a jungler, if you're still going for the Demon Slayer emblem build, the Molten Essence doesn't really affect much, but it does affect a lot towards the roamers and the XP laners who does play Molten Essence.
I still think that it's useful. I still think that it's always, in whatever to help increase your clear speed, you want that advantage. You don't necessarily have to complete the item into the Curse Helm. You can generally just hold the component, and then after that, go for your full build, and when you need some extra stats, just sell the Molten Essence in the later stages of the game.
Fair enough, fair enough. So I'm curious to see what kind of playstyles we are going to be seeing as well, because yesterday's game, we did see Malaysia team kind of play. I think Red Esports played a playstyle where they are going to be focusing on lane matchups. Like, they go for the wave, they try to set up a gank. Whereas for Philippines playstyle, they do like those early aggression of setting up for team fights rather than lane management. Like, if you see there's another guy on the other side, they immediately jump in and force a fight regardless of whatever situation. The itemizations are a little bit interesting as well, but for Indonesia, it feels like a wild card for me. Like, they can adapt on the fly based on the drafts, and they don't necessarily have like one fixed styles of I think the first 2 item builds when it comes to like maybe Dreadnought Armor, maybe even Dominance Eyes or Steel Lake Ruggings, or maybe even Molten Essence as well. They are very flexible in that regards.
I mean, yes, they are flexible, but I will say that, you know, under pressure, especially for the MPL ID teams, you know, when there's a lot of pressure involved, you can definitely see them kind of pull back on that aggression rather not to make a mistake than making a play. And that's why I think the tier 2s are very exciting to watch, because they're not scared of making that mistake. They would rather make the attempt rather than not try at all.
Yeah, sometimes taking a risk is better than not taking it all.
Oh,
But
the draft was going on.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the draft here. The draft went on for a little bit here. DEWA United Esports pretty much banning off Fanny for Ramis 1-1, and Rebel and Zion for the Arlott, Mincetar now, Glue as well as the Joy. First few picks, we do see the Beatrix, Valentina, and Lapu-Lapu, Yi, Melissa, and Lancelot. So Novaria completely ignored. Interesting.
I'm more surprised that we didn't get to see Kaja instantly picked up here for the side of Rebellion Zion, right? They wanted to prioritize shutting down the gold laner rather than, you know, messing around with the Yi. They might still let Kaja through for all we know, but we'll see first. Second phase is already started. The Fredrin ban, really great for the side of DEWA United Esports. I don't think there's anything else that really threatens their comp other than just sticky tanks.
Do you still think Martis jungle is still relevant?
I still think it's relevant. It's definitely got its place in the meta.
Okay, so when it comes to this as well, DEWA United Esports, it seems like they are going to be targeting on towards the jungler role. So would they ban off the Hayabusa, knowing that Rebel and Zion, well, maybe they might not play it, but would it be safer, especially when it's against a Lancelot, right? You don't really want to try and play catch up as a Lancelot where in terms of team fights, but no! Instead of going for Hayabusa, they take one step further. They ban off the Link instead.
I like that as well. Again, DEWA United Esports, they know that Rebellion Zion is focusing down on the EXP lane matchup because they've already locked in the Lapu super early to try and defeat early team fights, especially when Melissa hasn't fully scaled up or had that Winds of Nature. Rebellion Zion looking for their very first pick, mid EXP gold, so support and jungle is still missing. In terms of the jungle role, Martis is like kind of meh here. I would say that it's not bad, but even so, Yve is still quite the problem. I think Kaja should generally be the outlook, but instead they're still doubling down on their team composition to dive their opponents and destroy this Melissa. They lock in the Grok.
I'm surprised with this Grok pickup, considering that the wall charge can actually punish Lancelot if he's got slow fingers. Melissa still gets affected by stun, even though the knockback is going to be very, very difficult to actually hit her. But I like the idea, but I'm really surprised still that Novaria completely ignored. Forza, I know it's got a little bit of nerf here. I don't think it's going to be picked up from both sides. They have the double mages. I guess in terms of jungler here, Rebel and Zion, they can still go for the Archive jungle if they want to. Technically,
I mean, it's
but
up against
is it
Lancelot. It's up against a Lancelot, right? You would much rather a Fredrin versus the Akai. At least Fredrin doesn't have the iframes here, but DEWA United Esports, very interesting. They decided to go for the Teresa to try and win early in the lane and paired it up with the Kufra to make sure that even if Lapu makes the attempt jumping into the back line, he has to commit everything. If not, he's just going to get stopped by the bouncing ball.
I actually like this as well, considering that DEWA United doesn't really want to deal with an assassin jungler, and Kufra kind of stops a lot of the mobilities from assassin. And speaking of the recently buffed up jungler, Paquito, technically Kufra's bouncing ball just completely forces Paquito to just sit down.
Yeah, he does. quite significantly. But I don't think Rebellion Zion want to go for the Keto. It's into the Melissa, right? It's still pretty tough. The Eve is great and everything, but the real world manipulation is going to limit your space. So Martis is going to go into it. And I mean, this was to be expected, right? Rebellion Zion, they really want to double down on jumping into that back line and killing this Melissa as quick as possible. But I like the way DEWA United Esports is thinking. You see the Valentina and you're like, okay, we can't give them good ults. We could go for the Yuzong, which would be great into the Beatrix, but if we see Valentina steal the Black Dragon form, and looking at their entire lineup, a majority of them have anti-CC.
True, but at the same time, I'm not sure if this was intended coming from DEWA United, but that 2 final pick with Terizla and Kufra, it feels like they're forcing Rebellion Zion to play textbook over, you know, something that's out of ordinary, like assassin junglers actually plays out. So I guess they're comfortable playing textbook, but we shall see. You know, obviously we're going to be a little bit biased in our predictions, but I'm curious to see how both these teams are going to be taking this game one step further, because this first game is going to dictate the momentum for each team to actually go forward. Personally, I like DEWA United, but Terizla, I'm a little bit iffy on that because of the fact it was intended to force them to actually go into the final pick. But without further ado, this is going to be the match to watch as well. This is going to be DEWA United going up against Rebellion Zion for the first game for today.
DEWA going to be on the blue side, Rebellion on the red. Now, nothing should really escalate too far in the early game for DEWA United. Again, a lot of the onus here is going to be for the side of Rebellion Zion, because they have the composition that doesn't necessarily scale as hard in comparison to DEWA Esports.
Now, speaking of the matchups as well, it feels like DEWA United, they are going to opening up with mid-pressure a little bit more, whereas Rebellion Zion, they are going to play safety to make sure that Heist gets his farm. So very, very different openings coming from both sides, but I guess Rebellion Zion is going to try and play this a little bit slow and prioritize on Heist a little bit more.
They are just going to try and dunk on Azura's guys, right? I mean, look at this lane matchup. It's Melissa versus the Beatrix and Brock comes to intervene to immediately give the advantage over the Heist. So, I mean, it's to be expected. Vincent, on the other hand, Dixon shouldn't be dying here. He's Rizla. He needs to be able to maintain play.
Yeah, pull that off for now. Bottom lane, Swaylord getting dived pretty hard as well. There's going to be a little bit of trades here, but it is the roamer that's getting a little bit of pressure. Is not that big of a deal for Rebellion, but at the same time, Renbu also takes a lot of damage, so that's a lot of pressure being thrown away while they try and capitalize and punish this top lane. Terizla not having it for now, but bottom lane, again, another attempt, but they just can't kill off this Grok.
No, again, Grok still pretty tanky in the earlier stages of the game. Majority of their damage is going to be attack damage, not magic. But
physical.
Now, yeah, physical. Well, with the rest of the team coming in for this Lord, wow, Cars really wants to try and blow it. Oh my God,
okay,
he wants to get all the spells.
Okay, you know, he actually forced Laya out of position a little bit here. It's a big rotation, but do they have enough time? Because as of now, they're going to try and borrow a little bit of time, but he still steals the turtle. This spike getting forced away by the Lapu Lapu, and now Rebellion, they've committed a little bit too much. They have to run, and Cars, he actually escapes with 1 HP. Dixon will finish off Cars finally with his first kill, and I thought he got away, but this overcommitment from Rebellion is going to get punished.
Yep, honestly, nicely played by DEWA United Esports. Good positioning. Shaco mode just going into the bush, ready to jump on top of the right targets. He waited for half a second to make sure that everybody was on board with the plan, but now this is where we see DEWA United Esports. Once they hit that level 4, the laning phase becomes significantly easier to manage.
Oh boy, you hate to see moments like this. Like Cars, he really tried his best, but damn, Lanaya's got very, very good timings here. But meanwhile, for now, they are going to take the win for now. 1,000 gold advantage in terms of gold. Rebellion Zion, what's the comeback mechanic for them right now?
Well, for Rebellion Zion, I don't think there is a comeback mechanic right now. It's all about this early pressure, right? In the later stages, it's only going to get harder. Those guys.
Oh, speaking of early pressure, they are going to try and dive onto Azura, and straight away, Renbu will get the kill, and now the Kufra is going to be the next one to fall potentially. Nope, he is going to be very, very tanky, so Rebellion, they would take the gold laner for sure.
Yeah, really nasty play coming in from Swaylord, going in for the wild charge, but using the Nature's Barrier late, knowing that Kufra could potentially pull his team.
Okay, Dyson. What? Okay, I don't think he's got the sustain, but Cars. Oh, okay, he's gonna back off.
Oh, he has the fucker early.
Vincent. Is he gonna go for decimation? It seems like it's not gonna be okay, but bottom lane, Swaylord is gonna get chipped once again, and DEWA, they are trying very hard to actually pressure the Beatrix despite losing Azure Sky once now. They're not too happy about this.
I mean, the whole draft from Rebellion Zion is to punish Azure Sky. So if they can unlock him from this laning phase, it's going to significantly help the game plan. But let's talk about the...
Oh no, speaking of funneling here comes the goal win. Great traps coming in, but the Terrify coming in from Red Bull stops him in track, and that's going to be Heist killing him off. And now the rest of DEWA United is going to try and capitalize on this situation, but they've already lost their main goal laner.
He probably should have thrown Muddles first before dashing. I think that would have given him the information to back away rather than getting caught by the wild charge. Regardless, Lanaya will have priority.
Yep, at the same time. No, you have to give credit towards him. No? He had the right idea to pen with go away. But at the same time, it was Red Bull just stopped him for the Muddles if you think about it. But nevertheless, Turtle contest once again. I don't think DEWA United should be forcing this fight, knowing that Melissa is down behind, but I guess they are going to try to risk it for the biscuit. Because
absolutely. Just 4v4 this. Beatrix and Melissa are not there. This is their best odds.
I agree. And now, when it comes to Rebellion as well, Swaylord, he's just going to try and wait for the timing as well. Down towards the final bar. Lanaya going to force a steal, and Vincent wins the Retribution battle. And here comes the wall charge to stop in the track. And they do get a nice pick off coming in from Rebellion Zion. That's going to be Dixon and Shackle getting caught up by the wall charge combo.
A little unlucky there, but definitely Shackle Mode was just holding on to the Pixel Brush for too long. I think communications were very, very cluttered about who was going to be the priority to jump on top of. And by the time they actually came to a decision, Rebellion Zion has taken the initiative to take the fight to them. And now, as we move on towards the mid-game here, we're starting to see those first items get complete. Molten Essence coming up from Lancelot, but of course, Ice Queen's Wand already finished by Keys.
Oh, this is interesting. I do see Fury Armor purchases coming in from the Mortis as well. So this is not a pure tank Mortis, but it does give you a little bit of damage areas as well. Lancelot also going to be working for it, but that's not for now. Shackle, he actually misses the Tyrant Revenge. Now he's going to get punished for this, but the bouncing ball reduction is going to keep him alive. Swaylord trying to set up a play, but a wall charge flicker connects on two. They want to try and punish Azure Sky once again, but Rebellion Zion, they're not in position to do so. Heist is just too low to commit to this fight, and they do lose Swaylord. But on the side, Shackle Mod also getting picked off by Cars.
This is actually pretty good for Rebellion Zion, right? Even though they were able to trade 1-for-1, Swaylord and Shackle Mod not really going to get a net profit from anyone, except when you look at the top side, they're making sure that they're abusing the rest of the map. Top side open, no problem. Vincent comes, takes that tier 2, and now they're getting ready to fight by the turtle.
I guess this is exactly what Rebellion Zion wants, right? From initially, they want to funnel this goal laner as much as possible. They caught what they wanted, and this is pretty much go time for Heist Armor. But whereas DEWA United, they are getting a little bit desperate here to try and set up a play, and I think this is very concerning because if they don't start getting kills in their favor, things are not going to look good for DEWA. But speaking of a play, this is going to be Rebellion starting things off with the wall charge. They want to punish Azura once again, but it seems like they're all kind of scrambled as well, but they will chip away the tier 1 with the gold laners. And Rebellion, they just throw out the spells and get off for free.
They just sacrifice the tier 1 because there's no point dying. You know there's a neutral objective to fight for.
And now Lanaya is going to be scouting things out with Turtle. Turtle already half HP. Shackle not in position to get a little bit of pick off Swaylord. Right in the midst of this confusion, it is going to be picked off by DEWA United. Turtle will be stolen from the side of Rebellion Zion, and now they are going to collapse on those cars as well. But look at Cars, he's just so tanky. The Melissa doing a lot of damage, but eventually DEWA United will still pick him off. But Bison and Lanaya, they do get another one as well. Rebellion, they're just two split off, and DEWA United, this is exactly what they want. They want to force a fight, and Rebellion, they're getting picked off now bit by bit. They need Swaylord to save the day. The wall block, not good enough, and they will lose another one. And now Rebellion, they're stuck in this fight. Azura Sky is going to try and force this issue. Wall charge comes in from Swaylord to progress this fight, but Red Bull gets the follow-up. They do take off Azura Sky in this process. At the same time, they're just throwing bodies at this.
They got to stop throwing bodies at a certain point and get back to the wave, because look at top side, the tier 2, the exact same thing that Rebellion Zion was playing on the bottom side to get the tier 2, same play being made by DEWA United Esports on top side.
My goodness, this is an all-out brawl coming from DEWA United and Rebellion Zion. It's crazy. Lanaya trying to steal off the orange buff. He does get it, so that is going to be a small win. Middle lane, however, they are going to try and dive on Cars. Cars does have the sustainability to keep him alive, so DEWA will back off.
Man, a little lucky from Cars that Lanaya did lose out his stacks before going for the Thorn Rose. If not, that would have done a significant amount of damage. That being said, DEWA United Esports, now that the laning phase is over, it's all about team fighting, right? It's all about finding the opportunities to contest Rebellion Zion for these points of interest. And in this case, Rebellion Zion trying to cover that top side as much as they can, get that wave going, and if they can sneak away an inhibitor, DEWA United Esports would be at a significant disadvantage.
Yeah, middle turret is going to be priority here. Shaco is going to force a fight, taking advantage of the wall block. Ars needs to back off, but he will get bursted down by the tier 1 along with the teammates here. Ars, with the snipes coming in, DEWA forced to back out. So Rebellion, they do punish this mistake coming in from Shaco. So that is going to be a small victory for Rebellion for now. However, seems like the Lord Pit is going to be the objective coming from both sides. Do they get it though? This might be tough. It's going to be tough as well because revolutionizing comes in. They do force a flick play. Dyson going for the penalty zone. But Rebellion, they get out. They get the reset as well. DEWA United, they're trying to pick Vincent off, but at the same time, they're trying to make a play on the sides. Cars going to force an issue. He's got a big shot in onto Anjura. Sky, that's going to be the goal laner down from DEWA United. Lord dropping down pretty low. Cars down from the side of Rebellion Zion, and they are going to bring in Shaco with the Tyrant's Rage. Connects on 2, and now the Lord has been stolen as well, and DEWA United will get the punish on Rebellion Zion. Lanaya getting another kill on Vincent, and Rebellion, they have to back off.
Big profits here coming in for the side of Rebellion Zion, putting DEWA United Esports in a forked position, but despite everything that happened, DEWA still being the one securing the Lord for themselves. All of that effort's wasted, losing 3 members in the process.
Oh, it's just so very, very unfortunate. But DEWA United, they played it really well. Rebellion Zion now, it's going to be resets for them, I guess.
A lot of resets. Because keep in mind that Vincent is technically still a level down on Lanaya. It's very hard to win out on that retribution fight, and that's why you saw Rebellion Zion posturing themselves, looking for opportunities to blow battle spells from Keys, as well as getting a kill onto Azura Skies. If they're able to do that slightly earlier, it could have been better to regroup, but now it's where it gets really difficult, as DEWA United Esports, their composition can see.
Yep, Shaco now going to be looking for a position, actually going for the pro plays as well. Rebellion Zion definitely caught off guard for the previous fight, and with this, a lot of objectives will be taken away in chip from DEWA United, but do they want to risk it, considering that we are slowly getting into the late game territory? But attempt has been made, but no follow-up through coming from DEWA United.
Nothing to really die for here. I mean, the Lord is already timed out, and plus it's the very first Lord, so it's generally Rebellion Zion, on the other hand, they also recognize that, honestly, there's no real reason to walk out of our base. All of our camps have already been taken, so unless we're moving out as 5 to give a potential team fight to DEWA United Esports, might as well just stay on our side of the river.
Yeah, I'm surprised that despite having a almost near 4K lead coming from DEWA United, they are just playing very disciplined. They want to make sure that they do get their next item power spike. In this case, will this glowing one from Keys play a huge factor in this next coming team fight?
Yes, it will, absolutely. Being able to get some extra movement speed to create more distance between you as well as Lapu. Lapu, arguably even Vincent as well, assuming he doesn't get the kill reset, but now
Shaco!
He finds it!
From the side, he gets 2, and now Rebellion, they have to back out. They lose 2. Suelo going to be stranded on the sides. He's going to sacrifice himself to delay the rest of DEWA United to back off, but is he going to make a lot of space? Because this is pretty much a guaranteed dead Grog, but the rest of DEWA United, they are going to give chase, and Rebellion, they do buy time with this, with Suelo being picked up as well, and they do trade off Lanaya, which is a consolation prize from Rebellion Zion.
Oh, this is so worth it for Rebellion Zion, right? They did have to blow a majority of their battle spells, but they were able to trade a jungler for a support, which is great, because if you look at the timers here, 24 seconds to 18 seconds till the Lord spawns, which means that technically Rebellion Zion have about a 6-second lead, less than that, as a matter of fact, like about a 5-second lead on this Lord. So they need to start posturing themselves, clean up their waries fast, postures, start rushing it down to force DEWA United Esports into a fight.
You know, it's crazy how Rebellion Zion was able to salvage that situation in the hit of the moment, knowing that, oh no, we lost the first engagement, and then immediately tries to salvage the situation by sacrificing a player. In this case, sacrificing one for a Knight. I would say it's a pretty good move here, but with that being said here, now this Lord is going to be even Stevens coming from both sides. Both team needs this Lord to actually progress further, especially for Rebellion Zion, considering that most of the outer towers coming from DEWA United is still alive. In this case, how will they play? Because now Divine Glaive up on Renbu is going to be a big factor here.
Yeah, it looks like DEWA United Esports actually want to try and bait out the fight. And same goes for Rebellion Zion. Very two different spearheads here. Here we go. Here's the fight.
Yeah, conceal plays coming from Rebellion. They are trying to go close up on them, but the slows coming from Eve is going to get them into our position. But they have to back out. Defensive wall charge from Suilov to back out. Vincent left alone here, and DEWA United, they know for a fact that they have to back off. The Lord was in this fight, so Rebellion, they have to go for the first fight. But no, here comes the pincer. Cars getting caught out, and DEWA United, they will get the pick off in. Suilov goes for the back line, but the stolen revolutionizing coming in from Ice. They are going to try and get a kill as well, but Immortality still available. He is going to keep Shaco alive. Now here comes the re-engagement, and no, it is not going to connect. Rebellion Zion just has too much damage up on Vincent and Heis, and they will blow both Dyson and Shaco out.
Oh, they trade 2 for 1, unideal, but they still secure the Lord, which is great for DEWA United Esports. If you look at the timers, they've got about like 13 seconds until the Lord empowered minions spawn with the Lord, so that means that Dyson as well as Shaco mode will have enough time to kind of regroup and kind of join for the second wave. In the meantime, though, we need to talk about that team fight, right? Because Cars unfortunately wasn't able to get off the Bravest Fighter in time to get his second set of moves because Shaco mode was committing a lot of CC. He sees the Bravest Fighter, tries to cancel it out every single time, even committing the ult to it.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? As well, what's interesting was Haizamor, instead of going for the sniper build, he actually shot for the shotgun build to actually burst it down. And I think Shaco mode was caught off guard because when he tried to re-engage after his immortality, he got actually one-shotted from Haizamor's AoE. So I would say it's a small win for DEWA United, but Rebellion Zion, once again, they lose out on the Lord trade. I feel like this is actually slowly closing down the windows, actually making a comeback now.
I mean, it really depends on this push, right? If DEWA United Esports can end the game off of this push, that would be ideal. But if they don't, Rebellion Zion, they will lose an inhibitor. They'll be at a slight disadvantage, but they're still in the game. And arguably, the gold wouldn't even matter anymore.
Now, speaking of which here, the Lord is going to be closing in towards the inhibitor. They will guarantee one from the side. Now, middle tower is going to be exposed as well. DEWA United, they're sending in the players. Suilov once again, going to be the sacrificial pawn once again, but can he survive? He's got the sustainabilities and he actually makes it off, and now the middle tower still stands, but another creep wave comes in. DEWA United, I'm pretty sure they are going to go for it as well. Shaco for the play, it does connect, it looks good on Cars. Instantly, they take down the Lapu Lapu, they sacrifice the Kufra, but they do get the Lapu Lapu. The stolen real animation will be expended. It's going to be all for naught, and DEWA United is going to try and pick them off. Winston dropping pretty low, but they don't really want to commit to this. Suilov once again, the distraction coming from Rebellion, the annoyance coming in. Seems like DEWA United, they are not going to get the middle turret unless Vincent, what are you doing? It's fine, but no, guess what? It was a bait. Dyson getting punished for that aggression as well, and Suilov once again past the immortality. He's going to try and bait a play. Wall shots away, but the going on. Does he take him down? Nope, he is going to be A-okay. Beautiful plays coming from Rebellion Zion.
A good defense coming in from Rebellion Zion, but DEWA United Esports, they gotta temper their mentalities here. Their attitudes toward the game is correct, and some of the moves that they've been making have been phenomenal. But if you aren't patient, you start going for these, well, I will say that, you know, Dyson dying there probably wasn't necessary. They could have just waited for the next wave to come crashing into the inhibitor before considering.
Yeah, this is crazy, considering the amount of plays that's happening across the boards as well. One small mistake can literally just cost you an entire team fight, and it's crazy how mechanically good the both sides are, and they really understand what needs to be done. And once again, now it is going to be another steal pick up from both sides. Third Lord coming in, and Rebellion Zion, however, this time at a disadvantage with the top wave shoving in.
Yeah, Lanaya wanted to go for the semi-damage build as well.
Oh my goodness.
Having a Guardian's Helm is giving him more than enough HP, but majority of his items are dedicated to damage.
Yeah, now with the Lord going to be exposed as well, down to the final take. Renbo, he needs to try and make a steal, but Lanaya once again secures the deal. But Cars, they go in, they find Azura Sky. That's going to be the Melissa down, and it's going to be a free-for-all for Rebellion Zion, but can they go for more? Shaco dropping down pretty low, but Rebellion says we do not want to commit to this fight. But once again, Lanaya secures the Lord, but here comes the side, the stolen illumination as well. They force out a flicker on Keys, and once again, Rebellion Zion just they just can't get the Lord objective at all.
No, it's really frustrating because this time Vincent technically got a little unlucky with the retribution, but other than that, DEWA United just making sure that they can, keep progressing and escalating this game, securing each and every board thus far, making it tough for Rebellion Zion to actually get a foothold. So this neutral objective is basically quite the contested point by both sides, but the high ground defense for the side of Rebellion Zion should be more than enough to take it out.
Yep, Winter Trunk can purchase Armor Keys as well, so that's going to be a problem for Rebellion Zion eventually to actually punch Keep. But as of now, with the Lord knocking on the top side, Rebellion full defense for now, and DEWA United is gonna try and make a play here. Vincent trying to distract them from the side here, especially up on Shackle, but the middle turret will fall coming in from DEWA United. Meanwhile, Rebellion Zion, they have to make a play eventually, but with all this immortality up, it is gonna be very, very difficult. Eyes Armor very far back, Shackle getting disrupted again, but damage from the Naya is gonna be enough to try to mob, but here comes the Brawl coming in. They lose Shackle first immortality right from the get-go. He is gonna get bursted down, but look at this, Rebellion Zion, they've got so much AoE. Ashura tries to sneakily snipe the crystal, but the fear comes in from Red Bull to stop him in his track. He will die, but the rest of Rebellion Zion will lose the crystal.
Woo! Receiving punishment all throughout that game, finally making it at the very end to chunk out the crystal and force attention upon himself. Well done from Zura's guys from DEWA United Esports, taking 1-0 against Rebellion Zion here in this best of 3 match point.
Yep, well done coming from DEWA United Esports there, because that was a very, very difficult game. But props to his Lanaya, man. His retribution has been on point since Turtle all the way to his Lord timings here. And seems like Rebellion Zion is going to be back to the drawing board for them. They cannot risk losing another game. But I would say textbook play is going to be the way to go for DEWA United.
I think that was a bit of an adjustment from Rebellion Zion, at least. It really shows their experience where DEWA had to read